Now at 6, wildfires devastate a harmonious part of green country.
We're lucky we didn't lose any more houses than we did.
2 Works For You takes a tour of the devastation and the heartbreak families are facing. All new at 6, a family in shambles after a dear loved one is taken from them.
He's an amazing human being and never deserved this.
We sit down with family members about the legacy Kelsey Tennant leaves behind. And happening now, lawmakers are scrambling to find ways to pay off money inappropriately used by the state. How this could end up impacting your child's education.
The news at 6 on 2 Works For You starts right now.
Thousands of acres devastated, many families forced to endure the loss of their homes as wildfires ravage parts of green country. 2 Works For You has the very latest from the areas hardest hit. Fire crews tell us those fires are nearly contained tonight, but they could spring back up in a moment's notice.
Many people allowed back into their homes now seeing the destruction for the first time. We are working for you with team coverage tonight. Let's go first to 2 Works For You reporter Brian Miller, live near Longtown with the latest on the investigation. Brian?
Yeah, I'm here right along Highway 9. The fire actually hit both sides of the highway, and you can find little pieces of evidence of this fire all around here, including this burnt-up branch. Now, I spoke with the fire chief of District 9. He tells me he's been doing this for more than 3 decades fighting fires. He said this one, the most difficult to contain. And while it's slowed down quite a bit, this fire still has not completely stopped, now burning for more than 30 hours. Pockets of smoke rising from these hills, proof from a distance of the mass destruction this fire caused. And if you take a closer look, a sample of more than 6,000 charred acres. Pittsburgh County crews requesting mutual aid in getting it from 17 fire stations and the Department of Forestry.
They responded really quick, so we're lucky we didn't lose any more houses than we did.
Of those 9 homes lost, several were empty, raising suspicion about how that fire started.
There's no electricity, no gas, nobody living there, and hasn't been for several years. And it's awfully hard to explain how a fire can just start at a place where nothing's there.
Things cooled off since the peak of the fire Monday night. The Department of Forestry remains in place to stop the spread.
They won't leave until they get all, they'll go completely around this fire where they put in fire lines, and they won't stop till they do. And we're doing more of the inside fire stuff around the houses.
There's still a little bit of smoke there right across Highway 9 where we're standing right now. Now, of the 17 fire departments that originally came out to respond to this yesterday, several of them had to leave to go get more. Well, conditions have improved. It's not quite as windy, but take a look at this. In the aftermath, you can see just how dry and dusty and dirty this fire has left everything behind. Now, there was one firefighter injured yesterday from smoke inhalation. She was treated at a local hospital, and she is just fine. I'm going to send it back to you guys now for our continuing team coverage.
You can smell the smoke still here in Tulsa. Continuing our team coverage, several of those residents are now being allowed to return to their home. Others, unfortunately, realizing there isn't much left. 2
Works For You reporter Corley Peel joins us live near Longtown to show us how one family in particular is coping with their loss.
This is what's left of the Woodward's family's home after it was destroyed by last night's wildfire. But a family treasure found in the rubble is what's helping the family move forward.
Why me? Why us? But it is what it is.
Today, Anthony Woodward is picking up the pieces of his home after his family evacuated last night when a wildfire swept through his Longtown neighborhood.
When I came back, it was pretty much looked like a square fire pit with flames. And it was heart-wrenching.
He says all of his family's memorabilia is gone.
All my kids' awards through 4-H, FFA, other things they've done, they're all total loss.
But Woodward says as he was looking through the rubble, he remembered his wife told him she put his wedding ring in a firebox before they evacuated. So he began searching.
I knew about where the firebox was, so I started looking real hard. The firebox I finally found, it was disintegrated. So all of our important papers were gone. So I started digging. I found my wedding ring.
Are you serious?
This is my wedding ring. It survived that fire.
Although his wedding ring is now tarnished, he says it symbolizes a day that he will never forget.
This ring will remain tarnished until the day I die. Just as a reminder to myself that anything can survive. I mean, if this ring can survive that fire, my marriage can survive anything.
Woodward tells me just because his house is gone, his family isn't going anywhere. They'll just rebuild. Reporting live in Longtown, Corley Peel, 2 Works for You.
Oh, your heart just goes out to him.
Absolutely.
So glad he found the ring. Well, the weather really isn't making it any easier for firefighters to put out those remaining flames. The wind gusts are keeping the crews busy.
Meteorologist Taft Price joins us now to tell us more about the changing direction of the wind, Taft, causing a new threat.
Yeah, over the last few hours, the winds have dropped off just a little bit in those areas, but it looks like as we move through the next 1 to 2 hours, they're going to really pick up again, and they're going to shift out of the northeast behind this cold front that's now moving across I-40 as it continues working its way down into areas of Pittsburgh County. Those winds, which are currently out of the south, are going to shift around to the northeast and become very gusty. We're already seeing some wind gusts 25 to 35 miles per hour behind that cold front here in northeast Oklahoma, and those winds will transition to the south as we move on through the evening hours. Temperature-wise, to the north behind that front, it's cooling off. We're in the low 60s from Bartlesville to Coffeyville, 70 in Tulsa. Still in advance of the front, we're sitting in the lower 80s, and right here in the metro, as cool as 68 in Skiatook, as warm as 80 degrees on the south side in Glenpool. Officially, we're sitting at 70 with that gusty north wind, 22 miles per hour. Winds will stay up this evening and overnight as temperatures drop off into the upper 40s by morning with just a slight chance of an overnight shower. Better chance of rain and storms on the way in the forecast. I'll tell you when that will arrive coming up in minutes.
All right, thank you, Taft. Only on 2 tonight, family members are remembering this beautiful young woman whose life was cut tragically short. 19-year-old Kelsey Tennant died Monday night after police say that Gregory Epperson strangled her at her apartment in South Tulsa. 2 Works for You anchor Will Dupree joining me now live near 65th and Mingo after speaking with her heartbroken relatives. Will?
Well, Karen, police say that suspect, that man who broke in and attacked Kelsey Tennant, lived right next door to her in this apartment complex here near 66th and Mingo. Kelsey's family is now trying to focus on the way she lived her life, not the tragic way it ended.
She wouldn't want us moping around and being sad. She would want us laughing and giggling and carrying on and doing all the things that she loved.
Memories of happier times are what Courtney Jefferson chooses to cling to now. She's remembering her younger sister, Kelsey, for the sassy, stubborn person she was, always quick to smile and laugh.
She loved so many people and was loved by so many people.
She described Kelsey as selfless and always striving to put others first. That giving spirit came out not only when she took care of her 2-year-old nephew, but also over the years when she worked to help children on many mission trips.
She's a special person. Anybody who had the opportunity to meet her was very blessed.
Recently, Kelsey and her boyfriend Riley celebrated their 2-year anniversary together. His family says he's still recuperating after the suspect, Gregory Epperson, attacked him as well when Riley came home to check on Kelsey Monday.
I have never seen a human being love another human being as much as he loved her.
Jefferson and her family do not want to discuss the suspect. Last year, however, he had a murder charge dismissed because the district attorney said he worried about having enough evidence to convict him. Epperson now faces several charges, including assault and battery with intent to kill. In the meantime, Kelsey's sister says she and her family will rely on the support of so many to get them through the tough days ahead.
It's great because she's an amazing human being and never deserved this.
And that suspect sits in jail right now and is being held without bond. He's due in court again on March 28th. For Kelsey's family, though, they're planning her funeral at this time. Reporting live in South Tulsa, Will Dupree, 2 Works for You.
And our thoughts are with them as well. News since 5, 2 people are in custody accused of a disturbing case out of Oshaleta. Barbara and Michael Dodson face child neglect charges tonight. Washington County deputies say their home had a nauseating smell of urine and animal feces. The home was also called deplorable and unfit for children.
2 women and a man now accused of neglecting a 2-year-old boy. Tulsa police believe that caretaker Dominic Smith is the one who dropped the toddler off at Hillcrest Medical Center yesterday with a critical head injury and then took off.
Officers arrested Johnny Earl Jones on suspicion of child neglect and the child's mother, Keyshawn Brown. Doctors at St. Francis Hospital told them the 2-year-old's prognosis is grim. They say he has severe brain trauma. A Grove child care business owner has been arrested. Officials say Aaron Bratcher is accused of lewd molestation and rape Authorities told the Grand Lake News the charges are from an incident at Noah's Ark Child Care and Learning Center. Police say a 5-year-old girl told them Bratcher molested her while she was sitting on his lap.
It's going to cost millions to pay back money that state lawmakers spent they weren't supposed to. The plan to fix the problem just ahead.
Plus, matching donations dollar for dollar to turn a murder scene into a memorial garden.